So I really am blown away by this.
Oh, yes.
I really want everyone else in the world to know that this is even an art medium, because I did not know.
Yeah.
And I think it's super special. And so, one, I want you to tell everyone what this is.
Okay.
But then also, how did you end up there?
Okay, good. So this is an ultrasound painting. So basically, this is the image of someone's baby in the womb. That actually a friend of mine who had an ultrasound company, she took this one, and she found me years ago when I was doing this, and reached out to me. So she gave me some of the really cool 3D ultrasounds, because when my very first painting, they didn't have that technology. No. So then I was like, wow, this is amazing. So now, I mean, of course, I can do it with any type of ultrasound. But the way it was started was that when I was pregnant with my first son, Brendan, basically I had finished all my work early in school, and actually one of my art teachers was like, hey, I remember you showed me those ultrasounds you have. Why don't you make them into a painting? I just like enlarged them, like I used 3 at that time and put them all together. And then I started like working on it. And I never actually used the medium that I used at that time. But I think my teacher was like, oh, I had these oil sticks I just ordered, like try them out. So they're literally like these like chunks like about this wide of paint and like this thick that are these oil pigments. And he just gave them to me, and I just started like messing around. And then the other kids in my class were like, ooh, do this, that looks cool. So I made this piece and had it, and then I gave it to David for like a Father's Day present.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and of course, like it's our first kid, it's very exciting, you know. And also, like, to be quite honest, that first ultrasound painting when you haven't had a kid yet, you're like, is my kid gonna look like an alien? Or like, I don't think I really said that out loud at the time, but I was kind of like, I don't know.
And without the 3D, it was a little scarier.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how they're actually gonna look. So anyways, it actually worked out, and obviously my son came out and was totally beautiful. But yeah, so I had that picture for Dave in the house, and then a lot of my friends would come by, obviously, to meet the baby, and like my mom's friends and different people we grew up with, and they were like, why don't you do this for a business for people? So I was like, oh, okay, sure. So I just started doing it, and just kind of like word of mouth. In Lakeland is a very kind of small town, and we lived there since I was like 4. I mean, I would go back and forth to Miami every weekend to see my dad, or every other weekend, and spend my summers there. But for the most part, like school year, I was in Lakeland. So I feel like you know everyone in a small town. So just like word of mouth, I just got a lot of business that way. So all through college, I would do the ultrasound paintings and other projects, but mostly the ultrasound paintings. So that's kind of how it started, and it's been really fun. You know, throughout the years, I've kept in touch with a lot of the families, and some of them have, they buy them. Yeah, and they buy them for their grandkids. Like, you know, like one lady's bought it for all 4 of her grandkids, and I'm like, you would think I'm like just her favorite person, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, to me, I'm like, of course I do this, but like it means so much to them, and that's what's really fun. You get to take this moment in someone's life that is really special, and then make it into a piece of art for them.
So sweet.
Yeah, thanks.
I had 3 babies at home, so I didn't even have ultrasound. So I really feel like I missed out. So I want other people to not miss out.
Yeah.
So how will they reach you, Heather, to do this?
Well, very easy. They can go to my website, which is heathertapiaart.com, or they could email me at heather@heathertapiaart.com, or they can call me at 863-602-0931, or on Facebook and Instagram. I'm also there under Heather Tapia Art. So it's pretty easy. If you look up Heather Tapia Art, it should all lead to me.
That's right.
Yeah, so that was how they would find me, basically, and yeah. And I'm happy to answer. I usually am always by my phone, unless I'm like, you know, doing something where I can't be. But for the most part, I've always tried to answer right away and just make sure I find out exactly what that person needs and wants, so that I can provide that for them.
Right. So if you want your ultrasound painting commission, she's your girl.
Yeah.
She's local. She's beautiful. She's a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She's been doing this. She has a following. She's good. So you want Heather's.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.